Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are going to wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll get the show on the road. Hi, to those of you trickling in, we are just waiting just a few minutes to make sure we have everyone logged in that wants to be a part of this, and then we'll get going. Hello, Natasha. Okay, it looks like attendance is kind of starting to slow down, so maybe just 30 more seconds, and then we'll get going. All right, Joe, what do you think?
I think we're ready to rock and roll.
We're ready. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Katie Smith, and I am a homeownership counselor out of Adair Cresswell office. And my co-host, Joe, if you want to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Joe Zamko, and I'm a homeownership counselor out of the Redmond branch in beautiful Central Oregon, and also covering down to Klamath County. And we've kind of opened up our build zone. So definitely check out our build maps for both Katie and myself. So that way we can make sure that we service and take great care of you. So I'm honored to be a part of Katie's wonderful presentation today.
Honored to have you. Okay, so our itinerary for the day, we're going to be talking about the Gallatin plan, so 2,080 square foot. So we'll start off by kind of going through our website. Joe's going to give you a little bit of an idea of the cool things you can do on the website. And then we'll jump straight into this plan. We'll look at the video, and then we'll wrap it up with basically the steps to homeownership. So Joe, if you don't mind, I always think it's so useful when you kind of give lay of the land on the website and the cool things you can do on our website.
Yeah, Katie, would love to. So obviously there's a lot of things and components that go into building a home. And I think what's great is our website has so many resources. So like under that resource tab, if you want to hover over that for me, Katie, should be able to give you some ideas. So most popular plans that are out there right now. I like the resource center where it's got educational guides, videos and tools, and then referral programs, which a lot of times we don't really talk about this on our virtual conversations that we have about our open houses that we do. But we actually, if you refer a client to build with Adair, just a normal consumer, we will pay you $2,500. So there's some great things associated with that. So also we pay realtors some very healthy commission on their referrals as well. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out on that, because we would love to help and support you there, whether you're a realtor, whether you are somebody that would refer somebody to Adair because you had just a phenomenal experience, like 99.9% of our customers do. In addition to that, I like the contact there because you've got access on the bottom right corner of Katie's screen right there. You've got the lovely chat, and we've got some phenomenal folks that are already ready to help and serve, answer any questions, be able to get you some general information and set you up with an appointment with somebody like Katie or myself. If you're curious as far as what locations that we service, or if you have any customer care questions or needs, We're there to support you. I like the home planning. Obviously, we'll get into that as we go through this home today, because we're going to be covering a lot of things and we don't want to overwhelm you within the first 5 minutes, but I'll turn it over to Katie so we can start getting things rolling.
Okay, all right, sounds perfect. So the house that we are talking about today, the Gallatin plan that you see on your screen. What's great about the house that we're showing is it was an investment build for one of our realtor customers. So it was built solely for the idea of selling it at the end of construction, which is amazing for 2 reasons. You can see that she did very limited upgrades to it, just kind of what she thought would be most important to a buyer. And also the home was staged at the time we took the video. So I always think it's so useful to see it with furniture and get a lay of the land as far as how everything's going to fit together once you're moved in. So what you are seeing here is Gallatin exterior and the standard elevation options for the Gallatin. And the thing that's important to know when you're looking at our website and our plans is that these suggested elevations are just that. They're suggestions or starting points. So if you're looking at it and you're like, I love the simplicity of all the lap siding on the classic. I just want to add some trim around the windows or maybe a window door here. You can modify to your heart's content as far as making it best fit your needs. The plan that we are looking at is the Traditions elevation, and she left it as is. So you're going to have the batten board on the top half of the house, the lap siding around the bottom. Got this nice covered front porch area and the 4-inch trim around all the windows and doors. And then this plan kicks up the garage door and the front door to be windowed versions, and they're both paint grade. Of course, Adair is going to paint the house for you as part of the base product. We use Sherwin-Williams paint, but then you can pick and change your colors again, fit your vision. So gonna go. That being said, we'll bump up to the floor plan. Sorry. So they flipped the orientation for the floor plan where the exterior elevation shows the garage over here. Just to make it a little extra confusing, but it's always an option to split plan to best suit the needs of the property, and there's of course not a charge for that. So you're seeing that covered front porch area, your front entry, and then this big common room, great room dining space. There's a little bit of a separation of kitchen from dining. And then down the hall on the first level is your half bath and your primary suite. This is kind of a great plan for that aging in place idea where everything that you need is on the main floor. Upstairs, we've got 3 more bedrooms and a big bonus room. And then a secondary bathroom and a utility room. And Joe, I would say most popular changes I make on this plan are bringing the washer and dryer connections downstairs to give it that full aging in place concept. What are you most popularly doing for this plan?
A lot of times it varies, based off the client. But, we do additional hookups too. So sometimes that's an option where they still have the hookups upstairs, but they add an additional hookup downstairs. A lot of people that I'm noticing are putting the garage on the side elevation of the house versus like being the main focal point of the house. And I think one of the things that I appreciate the most, and I think if you look at the farmhouse exterior elevation real quick there, you'll notice there's that wraparound porch, which is phenomenal. And that comes standard in the base price of the Gallatin. So having that all wrap around the side elevation of that house and it's baked into the base price, I think is pretty awesome. So because a lot of people, depends on the client, but don't like this door right here where you go door to door right there. But the nice thing that this house has, it has that covered space. So, it's not like you're walking out and getting dumped rain on or anything like that, we're very thoughtful and methodical in our plans, which I appreciate our draftsmen and all those guys that work hard to make our plans more relevant and more appealing based off what clients' needs are. So they have to make little to no modifications to our homes. But, there is a 5th bedroom option. There's also a dual master suite option, which I've seen that, for a lot of folks that are just like, hey, things are so expensive right now. Parents are downstairs, kids are upstairs, and you got kind of the dual living setup there. So I think there's some great value to this home because great price per square foot. but also just comes with such great standard finishes, which Katie will get into. Also, don't forget pricing. If you scroll down farther, Katie, all of our pricing here based off the exterior elevation and facade. So you'll see the farmhouse is quite a bit more expensive per se than the signature or the traditions. That's because it comes with that standard wraparound porch, which definitely adds some additional bucks and value for you. So
I love that. And there's a couple of things I want to elaborate on that you said that I really like, but I also forgot to remind everyone at the beginning of this, if you have questions, go ahead and use that Q&A box. Joe's going to be monitoring that, and we'll pause periodically to make sure we're staying on top of those. I see.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on that one, Katie. So as far as the garage height, and that's a huge question for a lot of folks. So standard's going to be 7 feet tall because our standard ceiling height is 8 foot tall. Now, if you upgrade to, say, for example, a 9-foot plate height on the main level, then you're automatically going to jump up to an 8-foot tall garage door. You will upgrade automatically to a foot taller on your windows, and then your cabinets grow as well. Now, keep in mind, all your interior doors will still be our standard 6'8" doors. So it doesn't upgrade any of the interior door heights. It would just be, like I mentioned, the garage door, any of the windows, and that's going to be on the main floor. It doesn't change anything upstairs because that's still an 8-foot plate height.
Perfect.
I hope that answered your question there.
Thank you, Joe. So
one other question real quick. The wraparound covered patio is not standard with signature. It is an upgrade. So farmhouse is the only elevation that comes with that wraparound as standard. Now, obviously you could, do the signature elevation with the wraparound, but it's not going to be standard in that base price. So there would be a cost upgrade associated with that. And then there's a question on a dual master floor plan. So we could definitely pull up the floor plan and be able to show you. Katie, do you have like the drafted plan?
I am on it, although my computer is not incredibly quick today.
No worries. So we'll definitely be able to pull that up for you before we leave this meeting today. So if you want to hang tight, I'm happy to get that answered. But we're going to start rolling through this thing here. And well, actually, Katie's Johnny on the spot.
We got it. Okay. So dual primary suite option. Got right up here. So you're basically replacing your bonus room in one of the bedrooms with a secondary primary suite, walk-in closet, and full bath. And then
love that it still has the loft though. I mean, that's awesome.
And this is a good amount of space in this loft too. I've had people convert this, add a wall right here and convert this to a full office. So
for sure,
a good chunk of space here. Okay. So one of the things you said that I loved was that you said they've been able to keep this plan relevant. And I think it's important to say, I mean, Adair's been around for 55 years now, and this is one of the original plans. So just the efficiency in design and the way that they continue to modify it over the years to make sure it's something still like interesting or attractive to current buyers is so impressive. And I like that Adair is continuing to modify all of their plans. So if there's a custom option that's done regularly that they're seeing over and over, okay, people are regularly bleeding this wall, and they're just going to write it into the date. So they're going to make modifications based on what's popular and relevant. And I appreciate that. With that said, we are going to, are we caught up on questions, Joe? Can we go to the video?
Yeah, there was an inquiry as far as how much that wraparound porch costs. I think it's somewhere in the $14,000 to $18,000 range. But you would definitely want to check with your local build area because every area is going to be different as far as what that cost is. As you'll notice, like on our website, if you click on a specific area, it's based off sub cost, based off everything, is kind of what is dictated by the price. So he was just wondering as far as the wraparound porch. So it's, it's going to be around that 14 to 18.
I'm curious if this is something that's different from branch to branch, but in Crestwell, when you go from tradition to signature, you get the wraparound porch. Wraparound's included in signature Gallatin. So
oh, is it over there? Okay.
yeah.
Well,
There
there you go. I think that's exciting news
you go.
for John there. So there you go, bud.
Yeah, John, if you are in the Creswell area, you can get your porch with a signature elevation. Okay, so we are going to go through this video. It moves quick, so as usual, we're going to be pausing and talking because we love to talk. So, what you should know, what you're looking at here, the outside of this house, all of the siding, all the way around is a fiber cement board. It's James Hardy, of course, it has that 50-year limited lifetime warranty. The roof is a 50-year architectural shingle, and then the windows are all a lifetime dual pane vinyl window. And that is standard regardless of which plan or elevation you choose. The exception being Arizona, who has some special options. Again, anything can be modified. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, but our views are out here and I see there's only one window out there. You can add your windows, move your windows, make your windows bigger or smaller. This is just kind of a starting point and then you customize it to what you need. Okay, we'll talk about site prep at the end, I think, Joe, or we think we're good to get going? You got any more?
I think we're good to get rolling. I mean, I think before we really start rolling this video here, I mean, I just want to point out this board and bat with the lap siding there. They did it all one color. That's super common right now, having the trim, just everything. And then I love how they did the corbels there. So it really just gives it a pop. So you see the corbels that are in the gable, just obviously a different color, add some additional character to the front elevation of the home. But super excited for you to walk through this. Katie, there might be some inquiry as far as like gutters. Is that going to be standard in your jurisdiction there?
Yes, jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So Creswell does include gutters and downspouts. Do you
Okay.
your area? I can't remember.
We do not do gutters as standard now.
Okay, and that is because it's snow load, right? Snow tier.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have that much snow here, unfortunately. Okay, we're going in. And she, by the way, she sold this house the first week it was listed, so she did a great job designing this. So what you're looking at here, standard Gallatin great room. She's got a really large couch in there, which I think is good for perspective on sizing. So you still have plenty of walk around space in the entry and down the hall. These windows are standard. The ceiling height is the standard 8 foot. And then we've got just kind of upgraded baseboards, a little bit taller than our standard colonial style, and a luxury vinyl planking here.
And the recessed can lights in there are a must. So otherwise, a lot of times in the great rooms, it'll just be done by a switch and a plug in the wall. So that's one upgrade that's definite must that you want to make sure that you do. Although they do come standard inside the kitchen. So the recessed can lights you'll see in the kitchen coming up, those are obviously standard in the base price. So something to always remember when it comes to designing your home is lighting, and making sure you have sufficient of it. And outlets, obviously. It looks like maybe they added some outlets on this island section there. There's quite a few there.
No added outlets. You're seeing the phone connection and a light switch. So no.
Nice.
But okay, so what we're looking at here, and like Joe was saying, if you prefer the recessed lights over the standard ceiling lights we do, it's a $0 cost to do a 1-to-1 swap out. So that's a preference. That's easy enough. This customer, she, as you can tell, she has great style. She had a vision, so she just deleted some of the standard lights and provided her own. And that's absolutely an option to do. So in this kitchen, you're going to see one of her upgrades. And I'll pause it when we have kind of this good broad span shot. She deleted our standard backsplash throughout the whole house. Our standard is a subway tile, which of course you can do through there. You could do, take your solid surface and go up the wall. You can do, we use Imser tiles. We have, I want to say at least one of everything at this point. She likes to do her own tile work and kudos to her. So she deleted the backsplash and she did this after construction. But this countertop that you're seeing here is a granite. So standard countertops throughout will be a laminate. This was an upgrade that she felt was important. The cabinet package, the cabinet style, this is 100% standard. These are beach cabinets, shaker style. This paint is called bourbon. And then within that standard package, any recessed panel door would be standard, with what, 10 stains to choose from. So lots of variance in what you can do without paying for an upgrade. Our cabinet shop, as I always say, is an award-winning cabinet shop. They are phenomenal. So if you had a specific, if you're like, well, I lived in a house before that had all their cabinets and they were painted this color and had slide out doors and open shelving and a trash drawer, and I love those features and I want them again, we'd be like, well, yeah, we'll do it. So nice to know.
I love that big window. That big window right there is a huge added touch. Now, Katie, right there to the left of the window, was there cabinets there before that were deleted?
Yeah, she deleted some cabinets right here and she plans to do some open shelving.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
It is. This window standard size, nothing special here. But again, so with cabinets, when we do a design appointment with you, we're gonna sit you down and talk cabinets for a good chunk of time because there's so many ways to make them fit your needs. I appreciate that.
The other thing to keep in mind too on our cabinets, because a lot of people ask this question is, now Joe or Katie, like you'll look at the drawers and they're a flat panel. They're not like the shaker panel like the cabinets. So this is our standard. If you did want them to match the cabinets, we definitely can do it because we do have our custom cabinet shop that can do that. So if you want like a spice rack or other kind of things, or all drawers instead of cabinets or pullouts or things like that. I know Katie loves kitchens and loves to talk about them for hours. But you could totally like pull off like a Benihana and like change this like area over here in the island to like a little cooktop or something, or just a little air, you can move the sink. You can just kind of customize this thing totally to how you want it. So that's what I love about Adair Homes and what we offer. So that's great. I love that backsplash. They did a great job.
Simple change, big impact on personality and character in the kitchen. Again, that luxury vinyl plank flooring, which luxury vinyl plank, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, is a phenomenal product. And I would say it's been our most popular selling floor lately. Are you the same in Ben?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And Shaw, we use all Shaw flooring, and Shaw's they're very proud of their luxury vinyl plank. They've given us mostly a lifetime warranty or limited lifetime warranty. So that's a nice feature for a floor where it's the most used, you're the hardest on it. And so having that lifetime warranty is a good peace of mind. These are our standard appliances. So of course, we're going to include the Whirlpool brand, 30-inch standard range, microwave hood, standard dishwasher. We don't include the refrigerator, but we're going to do the electrical outlet. We're going to do the plumb line for your ice maker. If you have a specific vision for your appliances, if you're like, hey, I've got my 48-inch full range I want to bring in, we say, cool. We will modify the cabinets to accommodate and give us the specs for your electrical needs, and we'll set it up. So you can run with the standard, you can upgrade to one of our upgrades, or you can go with even your own appliances if you want to provide.
One of the other things that I've seen in the kitchens that's been really on trend right now is having the cabinets go all the way up to the ceiling. So it'll still have that nice detail around the top of the cabinets, or even having like small, glass cabinets up there. Those have been really popular. So there's tons of ways that we can modify. I saw a custom option recently, and I haven't seen this in forever, but like right where the sink is that faux drawer right there, and having it be like a pop out. It's kind of cool. I haven't seen those things in forever, so it's kind of neat to see that that's an option available. So
I'm sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep this going. Or else we will stay in the kitchen and talk about it all day long.
Katie, we're just having too much fun. That's just how it works.
That's exactly it. So what you're seeing here is a walk-in pantry. I need to talk to our photographer about opening pantry doors. I'm so nosy about shelves and what's included, and they want to be people with their privacy, so they never go in, and I always want them to. Well, we'll get on that.
Would you pause it right there real quick? And I think this is a good pausing point. And the reason why is I've done a couple modifications here in Central Oregon where they're like, I want to bust that wall down. I want everything to be open. I want to be able to entertain with the great room, the kitchen, dining, everything kind of all together. So the nice thing is I've done on that wall, deleted the upper cabinets and done all lower cabinets, and then turned that into an island as well. And so there's a lot of great things that you can do right there. Like a little breakfast nook. You can come in, sit down, wait for your food that Katie's cooking in the kitchen. So tons of great options. She does only use the microwave when it comes to cooking. But anyhow, that's a good option, because a lot of people ask about that, like, oh, can I move that? Is that a load bearing wall? So definitely ask. Yeah, that's great. That's perfect. So I think this one's on the Cruston, right?
This is a Gallatin. It has a bump
Okay.
out. Gallatin with a
So
bump
they
out.
had the bump out then, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. So there you go. That's a great idea as far as what that would look like potentially. So kind of the sky's the limit. So that's what I love. So thanks for pulling that up, Katie. That was great.
You are absolutely accurate that I really like pretty kitchens, but I don't actually know how to use them. So that's good. Okay, I lost my play button. There we go. All right, another good shot of the standard. So again, this is 8-foot ceiling standard windows. If you were to go to that 9-foot plate height, like Joe said, you're going to automatically have taller windows, but you do have wall space if you want to add windows. I'm gonna pause right here. I know this doesn't look very exciting, but inside this wall behind this is a giant coat closet. So a lot of times what we'll do when we need to bring those utility connections downstairs, we can put them in your garage. But you can also combine this entire understair storage area, so coat closet and understair storage, to make a utility room. So people never complain about storage, but if you want to utilize this in a different way, you absolutely can make it that utility.
I've actually turned that into a half bath, Katie. So
Oh.
I pulled the half bath from like the current location of where it's at.
Mhm.
And then what I did is I turned this half bath into the pantry
Okay,
to access the kitchen.
smart. Okay, I like
So
that.
kind of a little unique, different way, but it gives you that walk-in pantry. So just depends on the client and what your needs are. So just more ideas, food for thought.
Love it. I love it. In this bedroom, this is a really big primary suite. They've got their queen size bed in there for reference. These two windows are standard. Of course, she added her own blinds here. We did for her again in this room. She wanted just the electrical and the box and the reinforced area for a fan, but then she provided her own fan and had that installed after construction. So as again, just a little bit of character in there. We've got a standard carpet
Katie,
in the
while you're showing the video a little bit here, I just want to answer a couple questions.
Yeah.
We do not do pre-painted hardy siding. So all of our concrete composite siding, we will paint obviously based off Sherwin-Williams paint colors. So that's, and then I agree. There's another client that mentioned that pantry is very important and a very, very rarely shown inside some of these videos. So we'll give our marketing team some feedback, and you'll notice Katie and I do quite a few of our videos. We just love, and we're super passionate about Adair Homes and the quality and craftsmanship, and love to share people the value that you get by building with Adair. So we'll definitely toss that feedback in.
Absolutely. Her joy. We need more pantry videos. I'm on board. I like to look in people's closets too. So our photographers need to be a little bit less polite all day. I'm stopping here because this is a little bit older spec on this house. So our new spec, if you were to order the Gallatin, we're going to include not a fiberglass tub shower combo, but a walk-in fiberglass shower and then a tile deck soaker tub under the window. So if you didn't love, I mean, some people don't want a tub. So if you'd rather have that space, you can absolutely delete the tub, but it's nice that you now have the two separate units included in that base price. And then again, I don't know if I said this, we paint the outside, we also paint the inside. So there's no painting or caulking or anything for you to do before move-in, which if you built and had to rush to get your house painted before, you will really appreciate that. We've got in here, this is that same granite countertop. And then she again did her own backsplash in here with that larger subway tile with the big flat grout line. We could absolutely do this to Adair if you're not somebody who wants to be hands-on with your backsplash, but it's nice to know it's an option. And then the standard mirror in here would be just a giant mirror that kind of covered this whole space above the vanity. She wanted more of a mirror look with character, so we got rid of that standard mirror and she got her own in. One other change to our standard package now is that rather than having a centered vanity light, we're gonna do a vanity light over each thing. Got that same cabinet in here. We'll pause here, so our walk-in closet, we're gonna do shelf and pull on any wall that can fit it. If you wanted to add a second row of shelf and pull, you can absolutely do that. If you wanted to delete it and bring in your own closet system and maybe add an island in the middle, you can absolutely do that. Right. Another good shot of that big bedroom. That's a fair sized bedroom. Nice room, nice room to see. This door that we don't open, this is that understairs storage. And this is a big deep closet. It's full height to begin with, and obviously follows the slope of the stairs. But lots of room in there for storage. And then the half bath, so standard half bath. We're gonna do the toilet and a pedestal sink. Again, she took the mirror and deleted that standard mirror and added her own framed mirror. Got that luxury vinyl plank in there again, so that vinyl plank just carries throughout the bulk of the downstairs, kind of gives more of an open feel, a little bit more consistency as you're walking through. And you'll see here, we didn't talk about this, but the vent here, so standard base price of the house includes this pump and furnace. If you have availability for natural gas, we can do a natural gas furnace. We could do a ductless system if that's something you're interested in, but it's nice to know that already included in the base price, you have your heating and air conditioning. And then of course, because we have that giant soaker tub, our standard water heater would be an 80-gallon heat pump style water heater. So a good size water heater right off the bat. We've got a standard carpet on the stairs. And I have had people before do kind of more of an open rail at the bottom, so opening up what you can. It's a little bit harder to do open rail on this plan, but it's an option. Okay. Between these two bedrooms, we've got a nice linen storage room. Storage closet, so it's half furnace, half storage, so good storage. Joe, I feel like you've been quiet for way too long. I know you have things on your mind.
Oh man, I'm thinking so hard. And I used to, no, I am just kind of, one of the things that I've seen, often now is turning that into a full bathroom right there, and then kind of a Jack and Jill setup where
Wow.
you can, we just change where the closets are located, and be able to have a bathroom right between both of those bedrooms, especially if you go with the dual master suite option, or if you want to make a larger utility room upstairs, or if you want to make the loft space bigger and get rid of that, bathroom up there and all that good stuff in the utility. Could be a nice little den. Tons of options. There's a lot of work from home folks now. Kind of gives you, this home doesn't have a den per se. But if you got somebody that wants to utilize one of the rooms as a den, the other room as a bedroom, and then they can kind of have a walk-through bathroom right there. Seeing a lot of that. So a lot of great stuff. It's just I'm just mesmerized.
Is that what makes me nervous when you're quiet for too long?
I know.
We've got, so in these bedrooms, they are just kind of mirror images of each other. So they do have that smaller closet with the bypass doors. But like Joe was saying, you can definitely take those closets and combine them into one room too. But that's a great idea. I haven't done that yet, but that's a great idea. We've got the standard egress window on the back wall. Had they wanted to do taller ceilings up here, they could have. Had they wanted more windows or bigger windows, they absolutely could have.
You want to talk about the outlets on the wall, Katie, inside the bedrooms and kind of what those look like?
Yeah, so duplex receptacles, code here in our jurisdiction, I believe, is every 8 feet. So minimum, of course, we're gonna meet code, but if you wanted more, if you wanted them higher up on the wall, if you wanted them on the floor, definitely options. I'm gonna pause here too, because this is a good shot. So standard door, interior door is a hollow 6-panel paint grade door. If you want a solid core door, if you want a different style of door, if you want same grade door, absolutely, we can accommodate. So this is a starting point, and it is a nice neutral. Good door to start with.
I think something to point out too about these hollow core doors. I actually met with a client the other day. You can keep rolling, well, unless you want to stop there. But I had a client that was like, so what's on the inside? Is it like how they used to be with like cardboard in the inside and like all these cardboard layers? I'm like, no, because obviously those were like super light and yeah. So anyhow, the 6 panels. Really, you don't need to go to a solid core. We do offer solid core doors. We offer them in, 5 to 7 different paneling options, whether you want solid core, hollow core. Sometimes if people go to 10-foot ceilings on the main level, we definitely recommend upgrading your doors to a taller door, just so it makes it look nice and clean. So you don't have a 6'8" door and you've got all that space between the door, the top of the door all the way to the ceiling. So
agree. And same with trim. If you want to match your trim to your doors, if we have our 3 standard trim options and you're like, I don't love any of them, I want like a 6-inch beveled base cord and this style of door wrap, we can do it. So trim's an easy way to bring your character into the house. And so this bathroom, I wanted to pause because it is entirely standard. So we have a laminate countertop here. We've got our standard Moen fixtures, our standard cabinet, standard tub shower combo. And then again, she deleted the light fixtures. She deleted the mirror in the backsplash and did that herself. But had they wanted to just shower up here, or had they wanted a glass door or any other options, upgrades up here, they could have. However, as a standard, it's a nice, clean. I like it. It looks great. Joe and I were talking before the meeting started about this laminate countertop. I think sometimes people hear laminate and they're picturing kind of old school where you can see the wood between here and it looks nice. It looks like it's solid surface. So it's a very pretty product, I feel. It kind of matches her black granite downstairs.
yeah, a lot of the stuff, I mean, you truly can't tell a difference. I mean, so that's what's really nice. They're making a lot of product. So like, I mean, you put them side by side, even in the showroom, and you're like, well, the only difference is one is thick, right? The other one's thin, but you know what I mean? Just looking side by side, like, man, that looks pretty darn nice. And we do have kind of that high def countertop. Yep, that is textured and stuff too. Those are pretty nice as well, and they're a smaller upgrade if you are just trying to give some different look inside of a bathroom, or we see spend your money on the structural components. Those are the things that matter the most that you can't change later. A lot of the other components you can modify down the road, or if you have the budget, definitely upgrade. A lot of the stuff that is a pain in the rear due later, which I think right here, this house is a perfect example. You got the luxury plank vinyl all downstairs, got standard carpet upstairs, less traffic, obviously, in the upstairs area, and then doing the Formica countertop and kind of the laminate up here. I mean, it's still got good quality, good warranty associated with it. So I think that they spent their money well in this home. But one thing I've seen a lot of is doing the vault inside that bonus room and adding some windows to be able to check out if you have a view on the side elevation of the house. There's been some pretty unique stuff done there. So
great. Yeah. We are looking at this utility room upstairs. So of course we're going to do that plug and vent for the washer dryer. We do a standard shelf above that has they wanted cabinetry. We absolutely have done that. This is the furnace. So this furnace as a standard is exposed when you walk in the utility room. But of course, shutting that utility door blocks the sound. If you don't want to see your furnace or even acknowledge its existence, we can build an enclosure around it. These guys just went ahead and set up the screen so you don't have to look at it. We've got a standard vinyl floor in here. So it's not that luxury vinyl anymore. It's just a vinyl, sheeted vinyl in here, waterproof floor. then we are. Last bedroom. So again, we've got our closet off here to the side with those bypass doors. We've got that standard egress window. Most of the time in these situations where you're kind of in more of a city lot situation, you don't necessarily want a window that's looking right into your neighbors, but you can absolutely add side windows if it's something you're interested in. And then this massive bonus room. So all standard windows, standard carpet, just a big usable space. We do a lot of these floor plans for kind of larger families. So with the 3 bedrooms upstairs in the bonus room, kids are upstairs, kids have their own bonus room space. Downstairs, in theory, would say the clean, pretty, presentable area. Although I did do a similar approach with my house, and I found that the kids mess with all of them downstairs too.
Yeah, that's usually, well, you know, when you try to put them all upstairs, they want to destroy your area too.
Right. It was good in theory though.
Yeah.
What you're looking at here, so this is that standard sliding glass door in the dining room. They added a concrete slab back here for a little sitting area. The heat pump is put back here. If you're planning to use your whole backyard space as outdoor living, outdoor kitchen, you can relocate this absolutely. As a standard, they try to keep it away from where it's going to keep someone awake in a bedroom.
They try to also put that in the best location to where it's most centrally located where the furnace is. So then things don't have to work as hard to pump the air throughout the house.
All right, we're gonna let the video play through again. So Joe and I want to talk about the basic process and how to go about, you know, finding or building a home with Adair. Joe, do you have any questions we need to answer before we jump into that?
No, I think we nailed it pretty solid here.
Nailed it. Okay. So we have what we call 6 simple steps to homeownership, and we're going to kind of give you the lay of the land. So first step is financing. Financing being either, you know, determining if you're a cash customer or if you need a construction loan. And I know you have thoughts, Joe, that I'll say, so our first step, we want you to know your budget. We want you to be able to plan accordingly. So of course we have your financial in-house who is going to do a soft credit pull option. So they'll be able to tell you, okay, based on your debt to income, based on your credit score, here's what you qualify for. And then you can plan accordingly. So that's a great first step, you know, not just to tell us that you're qualified to build, but also to tell yourself, you know, based on the payment I want to make, how much do I want to spend? That's where we usually direct you to start. What are your additions to that, Joe, as far as financing?
You know, as far as financing goes, I mean, just really think about the things that are your must-haves and that are most critical when you're building a home. And what's really nice is Adair, we've changed our contract to add contingency for the build and for any overrun. So just always expect that, you know, typically there's going to be something, whether it's site development oriented, that's going to go over, but it's kind of nice to have that nice nest egg, right? That Adair puts in your contract for, you know, potentially, putting lawn in your front yard, or, you know, just having some extra funds set aside. Because I find that a lot of clients, you know, when they put their budget together and they're so excited, don't really add enough contingency. And we always budget more to be on the safe side. We don't want any surprises for you, nor do you want any surprises. Building a home is one of the last things that is built by human hands. So understand there's going to be things that come along the way, but if you work with your team at your branch, such as myself, Katie, we're homeownership counselors. We're here to help you, walk you through the process. We've got a pre-construction team that focuses on getting your permits all dialed in, getting everything associated with your site ready. We work with some phenomenal partners when it comes to site development. The excavation, utility trenching, steps, decks, driveways, patios, kind of you name it. And then also our superintendents. I mean, most of our superintendents, between all 3 of my superintendents in my branch, they've got over 75 years of building homes, right? So we've got some great experts, in our branches. And I know I kind of bounced off of financing a little bit, but it's just things to keep in mind when you're building a home and trusting who you're working with. and knowing that you're going to be taken care of through the process. The pre-approvals is the key to your success of understanding affordability. You know, you don't want to go buy something without knowing what your payment is, right? It's like you're going to go buy a brand new car. Well, rates are changing all the time, right? So that car that you were going to buy for $30,000, you know, 6 months ago, that, you know, was $350. Now it's $500. So kind of really understanding your budget really helps you have a successful build project.
Love that. I will say too, a lot of times people ask, like, when you say contingency, what are things that could come up? And so yesterday we had an example, we've got an excavator out at a customer site. It's a rural piece of property. He's doing the dig out. Of course, these customers had planned on a flat pad, flat foundation. And he called and he said, hey, I'm hitting massive boulders. So option A is to stop what we're doing, go get the jackhammers and start, you know, beating up and moving these rocks so we can keep that flat idea. And that's about $200 an hour. Or option B is to step the foundation so we can find or dig out around this giant rock, etc. So then the customer can say, okay, you know, cost for this is this, cost for this is this, let's go this route. And he knows he's got that money set aside for it. And a lot of times, I mean, like Joe said, we're looking at bare ground. Our site services team and our excavators have so much history of it. They're so educated, so knowledgeable, but there's things you just can't see under that dirt. So that contingency is really important for your peace of mind. And that's why it's built in, and that's why we take it up a notch and build it in. So step 2 is finding that property. And finding the property, people always want to know, well, does Adair sell land? And we do not. We have partnered with amazing realtor partners. We've found the realtors in our areas that know ground and they know how to make a vacant land offer, and they can give you that additional peace of mind to kind of pushing you in the right direction and feeling confident in your offer. And Joe, what are your elaborations on finding property?
You know, I think the biggest thing as far as finding property is really partnering with some successful real estate agents, right? So realtors that know land in and out, right? So land is a complex, process as far as securing the property and understanding all the ins and outs of the land. So I think really having somebody to partner with you, plus our superintendents doing the complimentary site inspection, I think is so critical, because they're able to put their feet on the ground, walk the property with you, talk about home placement. You may have envisioned putting your house, 400 feet back on the property, but your most affordable option is, putting the house 100 feet from the property and still being able to capture views. So I think that's really one of the most critical points is our complimentary site inspection, our partnership that we have with Adair Financial Services, and the total combined teamwork that we have, I think really help set up our clients for success.
And that was a perfect segue into step 3, which step 3 is that complimentary site evaluation. The key there is we don't want to come see the property until you have an accepted offer. And a lot of times people are like, well, wait a minute, at that point, it might be too late. So the idea is, and again, your realtor partner is going to guide you through this, making an offer that's contingent upon our site evaluation. So a feasibility period or a due diligence study. So the idea is that we're going to get our team out there while you are under contract. So no one can buy the property from you, out from under you. But you still have that grace period where if you change your mind, if we find something that concerns you, you can change your mind and keep shopping, get your earnest money back, walk away from the property and shop for another. So what we want you to do is get that accepted offer and call us right away. Like, hey, we're under contract, let's do this. And then we want to just hit the ground running so we can best utilize that time. And we can best hold your hand and help you with that due diligence study and just ensure that you can do exactly what you want to do on this property and that it's going to be within your budget to do it. Joe, addition?
No, I think all that's great. I mean, I think one of the things to point out is really when you're comparing and looking at what the quality and craftsmanship of Adair is like, we include so much in our base home. So as far as the site cleanup, and Katie and I know we built Adair Homes and absolutely loved them. And site cleanup is the biggest pain in the rear. It is so much work. And all the going to the dump all the time and do all that kind of stuff. We do all that for you. We also do your final clean, spick and span that bad boy, make it look beautiful for you. We also paint interior and exterior, central AC and heat pump. And the list goes on and on and on as far as all of our standards. So we've got 3 pages of standard features, and a lot of our standards are upgrades with other companies. So I think that's what I appreciate about our company is we've really made it affordable, whether it's an entry level home for somebody with, I mean, geez, we have a 30-year warranty on our siding. It's all James Hardie concrete composite siding, full wrap around the house. You know, a lot of the things we don't cheap out on quality and craftsmanship of the structural integrity of the home. And I think that's what you have to look at is, are you looking to build something, whether you're a first-time home buyer or a forever home? We kind of hit everybody along the way with what we can do for you and your family. So
bouncing back to our 6 steps again. So step 3 was that site verification. So making sure it's going to work for you. Step 4, we call gathering bids. So the idea is that, of course, there is site development with any property. Of course, there's a cost to that. So again, we want to get our excavators to that property ASAP. We're getting our site team to that property ASAP. And then the idea is that you put together, we're able to give you based on what we're seeing, based on what you want to do, here's what your land prep costs are going to be. So that, again, you're in that feasibility study period. If it becomes too much, maybe you have to compromise on house because budget's getting carried away, then you can make the decision to get your earnest money back and keep shopping. So we're going to hold your hand through that land purchasing portion, just to make sure. We don't expect you to know what you're looking at. You've never bought a fairground before, you know, you need some guidance. So that's kind of the intent. A lot of times too, people ask like, hey, what do I need to pay for out of pocket? There's kind of this idea that if you do a construction loan, the loan only covers the house. But the loan is intended to buy the property and pay for the site prep and pay for the house. So really limited out-of-pocket requirements, unless of course you want to pay more out of pocket.
Something to add to that too, Katie. I mean, I've had clients that are like, oh my gosh, so should I buy the property with a land loan and then do it? You know what? Honestly, one thing to think about, you're going to pay closing costs twice. So remember that. So if you're kind of like, hey, let's do the full meal deal. Let's figure it out. Land, home, site development. Is it affordable? Can I make this happen? And if it's like, bam, you totally can, then I wouldn't even waste time with a land loan, right? Because you have your due diligence period with your financing for your all-in-one construction loan, which includes the land, home, site development. Put your offer in on your property, put in a 21-day contingency. We'll get all your bids put together, get you a full total cost. Then you can say, gosh, you know what? I need to save another $60,000 before I can do it. Then sure, pursue a land loan, keep in touch with us. Or maybe you're like, gosh, you know what? That Creston, for example, which is very identical to the Gallatin, you know what? That's 30,000 more. Maybe, you know what? The Gallatin will fit our needs. Let's do a few modifications to really adjust it to our lifestyle and what we're looking for. You're not settling. You're just being like, hey, I'm being smart with my budget, smart with my money. And that's a good investment.
Yep, absolutely. So jumping straight to step 5. So you've found the land, we've verified you can do what you want there. You know it's within budget to prep the land. Your next step is the design meeting, and that's the fun one. So that's where we're going to spend a day just crawling through these floor plans and making sure that it is set up and structurally how you want to live in it. It fits your needs, it fits your requirements. We're going to talk outlets, we're going to talk windows, cabinets, and everything inside, and just kind of fine tune these plans to you. And sometimes maybe that involves minimal modifications like this house here. And sometimes maybe it's a map to kind of reconfigure. And sometimes maybe even you're going full custom because the plan, there wasn't a pre-engineered plan that just perfectly suited your needs. So designing is fun. It kind of locks in all the little details. Your thoughts on design, Joe?
I love it. I think that's probably one of my favorite parts is like
It's
actually
my favorite,
designing
yeah.
the home with the client. Like And what's really great is we have a bunch of custom homes that we've done. We've got a whole laundry list of them and different elevation styles and things of that nature. But it's so fun just to be able to kind of like have customers bring us some of their ideas, and then we kind of bring it to fruition. And I think that's probably the most rewarding part of it, is like they step inside of that kitchen where they have that 12-foot long island where they envision their 10 kids sitting, okay, maybe like, all their friends and family, right? Hanging out around it, or their 10 kids, or whatever it may be. But we've seen people put like a sink and then a bar sink on the other corner, or butler's pantry. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm having way too much fun. So it's good stuff.
It doesn't matter how many years we do this, like every design meeting, someone will bring an idea that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't I think of that? That's so brilliant. Yeah.
Totally.
That's so fun.
So bring your vision. Like we've had customers that are like I had a couple clients, I just downloaded our Adair stock plan, right, and emailed it to them, and they had so much fun going home with my erasable red pen, and they thought it was all cool, and we were able to do all these modifications. I let them borrow my ruler, and they were so stoked about it. They brought it back. We did the pricing for it, and I mean, it's so much fun designing a home that's affordable, and we have homes that'll fit within every budget realm. So definitely talk to us. We're here to help. I think what I appreciate the most is we're home ownership counselors. So we're here to guide you, support you, walk you through the process, help you understand, some of the roadblocks or things that other customers have experienced. Work with you with the county to help understand, some of the uniqueness of a property per se. There's so much that goes into it, but that's what we do every day. And that's why we're so passionate about helping and serving our customers.
Agreed. We have a couple questions. I want to wrap up the 6 steps really quickly before we get to those. We've got some good questions. So you've designed the house, you found the property, you've budgeted for site prep, you can order. You've got all your ducks in a row, you're ready to order. So your branch, whoever you're working with, is going to be able to give you an average timeline. From the time you order, plan on this many months of prepping the site, which prepping the site is including building permits and full set of drawings, and then actually preparing that ground. And then their average build time is this many months. And you want to ask that right up front, so we can say, hey, you need to plan for a space to live for this many months, and plan for your interest only payments for this many months if you're working on a construction loan. So important details to get from your branch, and those timelines vary. I'm not throwing out numbers, very much dependent on the location.
The other question that I see here, we've done design appointments. I do a lot of virtual design appointments because I cover some areas that people live, across the US. I've got a client that's in Florida right now. I've got a client that's back east, and they're like, we're doing the whole design, a lot of the customizations, modifications. We do like virtual walkthrough of like finishes and stuff like that. So I take my little handy dandy, I don't even know what is these Surface Pro thingies. Yeah, my little Surface Pro, and I walk around the showroom and be like, hey, this is luxury plank vinyl, and then we price out your kind of the whole meal deal package. And then when you actually come to do kind of the next step in the next phase of your color selection meeting, you're able to pick your selections within kind of what we have picked for you. So super exciting. So yeah, we can service anybody, anywhere. Obviously, you can be as hands-off as you want or as hands-on as you want. We've got clients that are in all spectrum. So
agreed. And to Joy's question a little bit more so, and Joe hinted at it, we need you to lock in your structure and your electrical requirements and your plumbing requirements before you order the home. But then right before construction, we want you to come back and actually fine tune your color selection. So that is right before we're actually ordering those materials. But the idea is that nothing's going to be discontinued. You're not going to get attached to something and then have it be unavailable by the time you go to order. And then Natasha had asked, do you install the customers? If they provide their own fixtures, will you install them? And the answer is unfortunately no. So you need to get your certificate of occupancy using only Adair supplied and installed products. And then once you have that C of O and we're out of there, you can start making your modifications and changes and really take hold of it. Joe, I want to talk about, we've never talked about this in one of these virtuals before, but I want to talk about the potential for price increases and how Adair handles that. And do you want to take the lead or do you want me to?
Oh, man, Katie, you're putting me on the spot.
We'll get right to the
No.
stuff I like to think about.
No, this is perfect. And I think I alluded to it a little bit earlier as far as the contingency, right? But I think what I appreciate the most is, there's a lot of clauses out there that are like, oh gosh, if lumber goes up, you're uncapped, we may ask you for 40, 50, $100,000 or those kinds of things, where there's all these special little clauses that are included. What's nice is Adair is just putting a contingency of a 6%. So say, for example, your notice to proceed, which is your golden ticket to release to construction, which is all the site work, right? To get, you got your permits back, you got your excavation, your utility trenching, all your steps deck, none of your steps decks. That was a joke. All of your prep ready to go, right? So, all of these other cosmetic things like the grass and the other stuff that's not needed at that point, right, to be released to construction. But say it takes 5 months, perfect. You're gonna be locked in on your pricing once the foundation is done being poured, and that's going to carry you all the way through construction. So you're not going to have to worry about any, oh hey, by the way, we're going to need an extra $20,000 because your lumber went up on your lumber pack when we ordered it, because it just fluctuated. I appreciate the transparency that's in our contract, that is like, hey, it's 6%, no matter what, that's the cap that you'll pay on an increase, and that's what you'd be looking at. We used to have 120-day price protection, Katie, right? And it was always like oh gosh, I hope I meet my 120 days. Oh no, I ran into a snafu at the county and they just, oh no, it's going to take 2 to 3 more weeks. And then I'm going to go past my price protection. I don't even know how much I'm going to pay. So the project administrator will be like, hey, Mr. Customer, we need $15,000. No more of that, guys. Like it's already built into your contract. It's a separate line item and it says what it's for. But that carries you through, and that's what I love and appreciate. So it's not like a lot of things that we're seeing out there are like, oh, a clause for this. What if it starts raining on Sunday, then sunny on Monday, then what is my price, right? So that's what I really appreciate about how we've changed, how we've adapted. We've taken customer feedback, and I think that's one of the most important things is understanding what's most important, helping you understand your budget all up front and all the components in it so you don't have surprises.
Yeah, a few more details on that 6% because I think it's an amazing thing Adair's doing. A lot of times people with our old process, they get to that 120 days and they might have to take a price increase and they would feel like they were being penalized or like it was a fine. But the truth is that Adair doesn't order materials for your home until you've got permits and until you've prepped your site. So if our costs have jumped up tremendously, we would just pass that on direct correlation to the customer. What we're saying now is that we're building in that 6% based on the cost of your home, 6% contingency. So when it comes time for us to order material, if we've taken a price increase, we're going to pass it along. If it's more than 6%, we're going to absorb it. You're never going to see it. So if prices go up 10%, you're only going to pay that 6%. And then if it's less than 6%, if we take a 1% price increase, you're only going to pay that, and the rest of that contingency is returned to you. And then
Even better, Katie, we document that to you. So like if granite goes from $90 a square foot to $95 a square foot, so it went up X amount of dollars, then at least, hey, you know exactly what it's directed towards. So there's no surprises. We itemize it at the recap.
Right. And then I think this is an exciting new thing too, which in 55 years, we've never done this, but as you all know, over the last couple of years, prices skyrocketed. I mean, they shot up. We were taking price increases every other month. It was insane. And so we've just added to our contract that if there is a price decrease, we're going to pass that along as well. So not only would you get your 6% back, but if the base price of a house takes a 1% decrease, you're gonna receive that concession for that decrease. So I think in just such a volatile market as it's been lately, it's nice to have kind of that built-in peace of mind. Worst case scenario, you take the biggest price increase there is, you can still afford this house. You're not putting yourself into a bad situation.
Awesome. Well, I think we kind of crushed it out of the park with some great news for everybody and
Said
so
all the
many more
words.
people to watch. I think it's great.
All right, well, if we have no other questions, we'll give you guys 30 seconds to throw in any final thoughts. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. All right, I think.
Thank you, everybody. Don't hesitate to reach out. AdairHomes.com. We've got a fantastic website. Look through floor plans. If you don't see something that if you've got a plan in mind, or we are coming out with ADU plans, just a heads up, a lot of jurisdictions are opening up and allowing ADUs inside city limits, more duplex plans. We're just kind of trying to hit all the investor faves along with, hey, your forever home. So excited to keep things rolling. Katie and I love doing these on like a daily basis if we could. So we'll keep banging out houses and showing you the quality and craftsmanship we offer here at Adair.
Right. All right. Thank you all so much. We will see you at the next one.